At my son's wedding, the bride leaned in close to me, her perfume sweet but her words venomous. With a fake smile stretched across her face, she whispered, "Either you give me a house, or I'll tell everyone you're the father of my baby." The laughter and chatter of guests filled the air around us, but in that moment, it all faded. I could barely hear anything over the pounding in my chest. My son was standing at the altar, the happiest man in the world, and the woman he was about to marry was blackmailing me in front of everyone. I didn't move. I didn't let her see how much it hit me. Instead, I smiled back and said calmly, "Don't worry. I brought you a gift." What she didn't know was that the box I would hand her later wasn't money or keys to a house, it was something far more valuable. It was the truth. If you've ever had someone try to manipulate you, someone who thought they could twist your life for their gain, you'll understand what was burning inside me that day. Because this isn't just a story about a wedding gone wrong, it's about how calm, patience, and truth became my greatest weapons against deceit. My name is Robert. I'm 58 years old, a widowed father, and I raised my son Ethan alone after his mother passed away when he was 12. Everything I did, every late shift, every dollar I saved, was for him. I wanted him to have a life better than mine, and when he met Melissa, I truly thought that dream was coming true. She was charming, polite, beautiful, and she knew exactly how to light up a room. But behind her smile, there was something cold, something calculating. From the first dinner she came to, I noticed the way her eyes moved, not on Ethan, but around my house. She looked at the chandelier, the framed art, the furniture, as if she was silently taking inventory. Her smile tightened whenever money came up, and she kept steering the conversation back to security. I remember thinking, she's not in love with Ethan, long-term assets. She's in love with what comes with him. But my son was blind in love. Months passed, and I stayed quiet, trying to be supportive. Then one evening, my phone rang. It was Ethan, and his voice sounded off. "Dad," he said quietly, "Melissa's pregnant." I congratulated him, of course. But then he added, "She doesn't want to talk about the timing. Just please don't bring it up." That line, it lingered in my head. Don't bring it up. Something wasn't right. Still, I told myself to stay out of it. Whatever the situation was, they were adults. It wasn't my place. Until the wedding day came, and everything changed. The ceremony was beautiful. White roses, soft music, friends, and family gathered with smiles. I should have felt proud, but deep down, I couldn't shake the unease. Just before it began, Melissa approached me. Her face was glowing with makeup, her eyes sharp beneath all the sweetness. "Robert," she said softly, "can we talk in private?" I followed her to the edge of the garden, thinking maybe she wanted to talk about the speech or thank me for something. But her tone shifted instantly. She looked me dead in the eye and said, "I know you've got money. Ethan told me about your savings, your house, the insurance. If you want this wedding to go smoothly, you'll transfer the house to my name. Otherwise," she smiled, a cold, confident smirk, "I'll tell everyone you're the father of my baby." I stood there, completely still. My hands went numb. My mind went blank. For a second, I thought I misheard her, but she didn't even flinch. She thought she owned me in that moment. Every instinct in me screamed to shout, to call her bluff right there, but I didn't. I took a slow breath, steadied myself, and said quietly, "You'll get your gift at the reception." Her smirk grew wider, like she thought she'd already won. What she didn't know was that 2 weeks earlier, I had accidentally received a voicemail from Ethan. He'd pocket-dialed me during an argument with Melissa. In the background, her voice came through clearly, "If your dad doesn't play along, we'll make him." A little blackmail never hurt anyone. At the time, I didn't know what it meant. But now, standing in that garden, it all made sense. And I realized something, I had all the proof I needed. The ceremony went on. I sat there watching my son, proud but heartbroken, as he said his vows to a woman who didn't love him. She smiled through it all, completely unaware that her game was about to end. When the reception began, laughter filled the hall again. Toasts, clinking glasses, dancing, the perfect wedding scene. And then, I stood up. "Excuse me," I said, raising my glass. "Before we continue, I'd like to give a special gift to my new daughter-in-law." Everyone clapped politely. Melissa's face lit up like it was Christmas morning. She was expecting something big, maybe a set of keys, maybe a check. I walked up to her, handed her a small silver box, and said softly, "Open it." She opened it with a wide grin, then froze. Inside wasn't jewelry or money. It was a small flash drive. Confused murmurs spread across the room. Ethan frowned and asked, "Dad, what's this?" I looked straight at Melissa and said calmly, "Why don't you play it?" The projector set up from the wedding slideshow was still connected, so Ethan plugged it in. A few clicks later, the speakers came to life. "If your dad doesn't play along, we'll make him." A little blackmail never hurt anyone. Her voice echoed across the room. The laughter stopped instantly. Ethan's face turned white. Every guest turned toward Melissa, who was frozen in her seat. She shot up, stammering, "That's not me. Someone edited that." I shook my head slowly and said, "That's your voice, Melissa. You recorded yourself on my son's phone. Congratulations, you just gifted yourself a divorce before the honeymoon." The room erupted in chaos. Guests whispered, phones came out, and Ethan's mother-in-law shouted at her own daughter, "What did you do?" Melissa tried to walk out, but people were blocking her way. Ethan just stood there, heartbreak in his eyes, staring at the woman he thought he knew. I left quietly, not with anger, but with peace. The truth had done all the talking for me. That night, Ethan came to my house. His voice was broken. He apologized over and over again, tears streaming down his face. "Dad, I didn't see it. I was stupid. I'm sorry." I put my hand on his shoulder and said, "Son, love makes fools of us all. But real love never comes with threats." A week later, the marriage was annulled. Melissa tried to defend herself online, claiming I had framed her, but when the recording leaked, she vanished. She deleted her accounts, moved out of town, and disappeared from Ethan's life for good. Some people think revenge means shouting, destroying, or fighting back with anger. But real revenge, the kind that heals you, comes through truth. Sometimes the best thing you can do is stay silent, let the storm build, and then let karma play the final note. Because when it does, it's louder than any words you could ever say. If this story gave you chills, hit that like button and tell me in the comments what you think the most satisfying revenge you've ever seen was. And don't forget to subscribe for more true stories of betrayal, justice, and sweet, poetic karma.